And we're fortunate this morning to have here the Director of Investor Services at the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Ladies and gentlemen, let's receive Edward Achonlate, who will give us a keynote address, a special keynote address.
Hello. Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, Your Excellencies, distinguished business executives, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings from the Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mr. Yofi Grant, who cannot be with us today, together with the management and staff of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. But we are indeed delighted to be part of this all-important gathering to discuss and share ideas on how to move the continent forward in terms of its development agenda. From the background provided, today we'll be looking at various topics, including governance, which has been trending for some time now, enormous resources, and as the Honorable Minister said, climate change, among others. We also use this platform to highlight some of the good things that we have as a continent to offer. In terms of Africa, since this is Africa Economic Summit, please permit me to share a few statistics on Africa before I move into what Ghana has to offer. From the Africa Development Bank Biannual Report, Africa's growth is set to outpace the global forecast in 2023, and we are set to outperform the rest of the world. And with the CFTA in place, we are sure that we definitely have a game changer. The agreement, AFCFTA, the agreement will increase Africa's exports by 560 billion, mostly in manufacturing, intracontinental exports, and also will provide for the expansion of both large and small-scale businesses and improve the scope of employment for skilled and unskilled labor in the region. It will also facilitate the implementation of the Protocol on the Free Movement of Persons, a flagship project of the African Union in the implementation of Agenda 2063. Together with the AFCFTA framework, this will help to achieve economic integration, free mobility, and more than just an opportunity for cross-border traders. The facilitation of free movement of people between countries in Africa could have significant implications for women and young people, including their ability to pursue job prospects within Africa. With a steadily growing population heading towards 2 billion, Africa's workforce will be the largest by 2040. Thus, the establishment of the AFCFTA will be able to capitalize on the workforce to strengthen Africa's position in the global value chain, as it grants an opportunity to investors to develop strong economic ties between each other and enabling them to access new markets and spearheading multilateralism. Now, Ghana, as you all know, proudly hosts the AFCFTA, and the GIPC has been working very hard with the AFCFTA and try to reposition Ghana in terms of our attractiveness as an investment destination so that the country can reap the benefits that the AFCFTA holds for Ghana in particular and Africa in general. The Ghana Investment Promotion Center is a government agency mandate to promote, coordinate, and facilitate investments in the Ghanaian economy. We work closely with other government agencies, including the ministries. We have the Minerals Commission, Petroleum Commission, the Free Zones Board. So depending on the sector, we have close collaboration with these agencies so that we can deliver on our mandates. In terms of resources, Ghana, we can boast of numerous resources, both especially in the natural resource area, and the recent finds of lithium and the others will further boost the country's attractiveness as an investment destination. Now, with all these economic potentials, it's important that those of us in Africa will come together so that we can also reap the benefits that these opportunities present. Because whatever benefits we reap will stay with us and it will help us to develop the continent. And as the minister said, we can win the war and be able to compete on the global stage. Under the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, the economy is open. We have just a few areas which are reserved for Ghanaians. But the good thing about our investment law currently is that non-Ghanaians, and it includes fellow Africans, can own businesses 100% in most sectors. If you also like to partner Ghanaians, the provision is in the law, and the GIPC as an institution can facilitate joint venture partnerships with Ghanaians or the other way around. The law mandates us to register investments, and the first step is the advisory services stage. So anybody who wants to set up a business in Ghana, we advise you to contact the GIPC. We have specialists in the various sectors. So after listening to you, to put it in simple terms, we can then direct you as to where you can, move to the next stage of the implementation of the project. If it has to do with environment, there is a formidable agency under the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation, that is the Environmental Protection Agency. They play a very important role in ensuring that whatever investments that we attract do not negatively impact on the environment. And I must say that they are very friendly, so that perception that you go to EPA, that will be the end of your business dreams, is not true. And let me assure you that the EPA is very proactive. And at the GIPC, they've made contact with us for us to know which businesses are coming in so that they can also engage in and make sure that in terms of satisfying the environmental rules and regulations, the companies are on track and it doesn't delay implementation of their businesses. Now, in terms of the procedure, we have a very simple procedure. The first procedure, or first step, is to incorporate your company at the Office of the Registrar of Companies, and then you come to GIPC. Under the law, we do have some entry requirements for non-Ghanaian owned businesses. This is $200,000 for a joint venture with a Ghanaian, in which case the Ghanaian must have at least 10% shares. Or if you want to go 100% foreign, currently it's $500,000. And for the trading sector, it's $1 million. I'm sure my Nigerian brothers and sisters will be looking at me in terms of trading. But let me assure you that the task force is working very hard to address issues as far as the retail sector is concerned. Now, the equity can either be in the form of cash or equipment or goods, depending on the nature of your project. But the good news here is that there are some exceptions to the entry requirements, and these are directed at one of the key areas that the government is promoting, that is manufacturing. So if you're coming into manufacturing, which will go a long way to support the flagship program of the 1 District 1 Factory, you are exempted from this minimum capital requirement. The same applies to export trading businesses, that is companies set up to buy locally produced goods for exports. So that will also support our export agenda. And then for those of us who are foreign spouses, if we've been married for at least 5 years and ordinarily resident here, you'll be exempted from this minimum capital requirement. And again, another good news, the GIPC Act is going through a review process. We've had extensive stakeholder discussions, and currently we have a draft cabinet memo which we've submitted to the Ministry of Finance. The draft cabinet memo, at least some of the suggestions we received include the entry requirements, that is not to have a one-size-fits-all for the various sectors. So we are all looking forward to the revised law, which will make Ghana even more competitive and attractive in terms of businesses. Now, the GIPC does not only focus on foreign-owned businesses, but we also cater for Ghanaian-owned businesses. So for the Ghanaians here, our doors are open. If you come to the GIPC, you can access the same services and benefits that the GIPC has to offer to foreign businesses. Now, in terms of the benefits, the first one is guarantee against expropriation. So if you're legally registered, you don't have to worry about your company being taken over by the government. It's also in the Constitution. So once you go through the proper procedure, you can just go to sleep and not worry about what's going to happen to your business as far as your investment security is concerned. We also have a new exemptions law, which is meant to streamline exemptions, and the Ministry of Finance is working on this, and very soon we'll have the modalities out so that when you bring in your machinery and equipment, you can enjoy the tariff reliefs that will be available for a specific sector. You are also allowed to repatriate your profits and dividends back to your home country. So for the foreign businesses or personalities here, once you register through the proper procedure, on due dates you can go to the bank and then just repatriate your profit and dividends back to your home country. If it's Nigeria, back to Nigeria, and of course we have a number of Nigerian banks here, so they can facilitate it. But that is what we do have. Of course, you must pay the taxes due Ghana government before you repatriate your profits. Now, if you decide to borrow money from outside to complement what you can raise locally, you're also allowed to transfer funds on due dates to service both the principal and interest. We also have some tax reliefs for the agri sector. If you are into agro-processing, currently you pay 1% for the first 5 years, and after that, depending on where you are located, you pay a reduced rate. If you are into manufacturing, if you are located outside Accra, Tema, but in the other regional capitals, you get a 25% tax rebate that is on your corporate tax. And if you're outside the other regional capitals, you get a 50% tax rebate. There is also a loss carry forward provision for you to carry forward your losses. As I always say, we are not saying you should make a loss, but in the unlikely event that you make a loss, you'll be allowed to carry forward your losses once the taxman is satisfied that these are genuine losses. And for some industries too, we know per industry benchmarks, you cannot make a profit in the first or second year. So this provision has also been made for you. Now, in terms of expatriate employment, under the GIPC Act, we have what we call the automatic immigrant quota system. So if the company can demonstrate that it's brought in between 50 to 250,000 US dollars, it can apply for one automatic quota, $250 to $500,000 2, $500,000 and above 3, and above $700,000 4. This applies to both wholly Ghanaian-owned businesses and foreign-owned businesses. In between, you can apply for time-bound work permits to enable you to meet your manpower requirements. There are some businesses, you need the skills, but not less than 700,000. So if you apply to the GIPC, we will review it, of course, subject to the justification you make. And if we deem it appropriate, we'll make the recommendation to the Ghana Immigration Service. So that is what we have by way of the incentives. And for the foreign-owned businesses, if you decide to liquidate, we are not saying you should liquidate your interest, but if you decide to do so, you will also be allowed to transfer funds on due dates in terms of the repatriation schedule that you do have. You know, the GIPC also, in order to ensure that we do have projects available for investors, go around the country to identify specific projects which we publish in our project catalog, so that if you call us and you say, well, I'm looking for a project in the agro-processing space, we will first of all let you have a look at our project catalog. If you don't find a match, we work with a number of agencies, let's say Ministry of Agri, if it has to do with climate change. Now we're talking about carbon credits and things. I think we can fall on the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation to assist us. So when you come to the GIPC, please be assured that we will give you seamless, excellent service so that you walk out of our offices feeling very happy and then you can share the good news that Ghana is really open for business, and at the GIPC, we truly take care of you. Now, for the diasporans, we have a diaspora investment desk. I believe we all have cousins or family members abroad, and so we've set up this dedicated desk to enable them to, come back if they want to invest. We hold their hands and make sure that they also have a very good experience. It's true, quite a number of them have been away for some time, and so sometimes they can have challenges, but this unit is there ready to help them. And then for the existing businesses, we have an investor aftercare division whose job is to engage you. If there are any challenges, they will assist you to go over these challenges so that you can focus on why you came to Ghana to do business. I see the MC looking at me, so but I'll have another opportunity during the panel discussions. So on this note, I'd like to thank you very much for your attention. And once again, let me say, GIPC, our doors are open. And as you might have seen from our videos, grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana. Thank you very much.